it's comfortable for you, that's all that matters.
I know.
It looks fine. Just don't break
Okay.
my microphone. That was very expensive.
The microphones or the gear in general is very expensive. No, it really is.
It's more expensive than I'd like to admit. We'd like getting a third microphone though, because we need to start doing more guests again. That's one thing we didn't do enough of this year was get guests on the podcast, and it's fun doing them over StreamYard or online, but some in-person guests would be really cool.
Yeah,
to get our
definitely.
skills up, and because straight away I talked over you, so that's one skill I have to improve on is speaking clearly and not speaking over people, and having someone in person. I think it would bring a whole new perspective to the pod and a lot of different conversational points. So yeah, 2022, some in-person guests, I think.
Yeah.
More money, more mics.
Will definitely be a goal of the Look Mum Hustling podcast because, like you said, really enjoyed having the guests on. It was a lot harder to coordinate than I thought it would be because some wouldn't be available straight away. Some would only be available later on. But yeah, definitely something I really want to work on and get some people on that I can learn from, which would be really exciting. Just all from all walks of life, really, in general, which would be awesome.
Yeah, we were definitely planning on getting more than 3 guests on. Wasn't quite enough, but this is episode 31 now.
Yes.
Which is really cool. I think we'll have this one and then one more out before the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll bring into a brand new year again.
100%.
It's all happening all over again.
Yeah. Well, one of the goals for 2022 was also making the podcast weekly as well, but we sort of jump-started that and did it a bit earlier on in the year, which is not earlier on in the year, but earlier than expected, which is awesome. And we've held suit, which is really, really good considering that we always struggle with our time and the availability that we do have. And I'm really proud of us for getting this far, like 31 episodes in. Yeah.
Say this every episode.
I know, but it's just, I don't know. I think it's just amazing that we're ongoing, just creating just new content in general, just talking about things that we're excited about. Something that's a little bit different from our It's Drew and Sarah channel as well. So that one's a little bit more focused in, you know, particular topics that we want to cover or just show. And then this one here is everything else that we enjoy.
Very nice. So this week we have Christmas coming up on the weekend.
I know.
It's a fun discussion.
Christmas
Is that a
time.
hoo-hoo or a ho-ho?
Oh, it could be a bit of both. That is Christmas. But I don't know. I always have mixed feelings about Christmas in general because I work in retail and it's a very busy time of year. You know, you can't go away most of the time because Boxing Day is another big busy day in retail as well. So it's always quite short, or it just doesn't feel like it's more about the new year. So when the new year ticks over, then it feels like it's a done year.
Even then, it's still like, it feels like there's a few weeks have to go by in January before you can get any sort of reprieve. Because even like Australia Day is a public holiday, right?
It is, yeah.
And there's always some sort of extra sale going on, I'm sure.
Yeah, but I think most people are going to just be at the pub playing 2-Up like most of the time they do on Australia Day.
By the way things are going with the rising cases, I don't think we'll be having much of an Australia Day. There won't be much 2-Up going on.
No.
Not at the clubs.
Yeah, no, it was a very interesting week with all the restrictions being relaxed completely. So, yeah, everything's ramped up since then, right in time before Christmas. Very special COVID Christmas present for everybody.
Yeah, or perhaps quite the opposite. Yeah, I mean, we can get into it if you want, but it's just more COVID news, Omicron.
It is.
Wreaking havoc. No one really knows what to expect at this point. Very early days with the data and stuff like that, but a lot of the overseas countries are getting massive spikes in cases. So yeah, everything's up in the air at the moment. Who knows what's going to happen? But we're here, we're alive. All we can do is just stay healthy, exercise, eat good, get that vitamin D.
Exactly.
Be COVID free.
I know.
Little 2 bars for you guys there.
Could you imagine all the little kids though living through COVID at the moment and it's Christmas time? Like it'd be it'd be such a different experience because, you know, it's such a big family time. So last year, no one could really go out to see anybody. This year around, it's all very, like you said, up in the air. But imagine like being a kid and you used to go see your grandparents and they would give you the best gifts, or just around your aunties and uncles and just being around that whole family vibe. Man, it would just be so tough as a young kid these days. Wouldn't even be the same experience. Because I remember as a kid, Christmas is the best.
They all kind of feel like a blur. I can remember some distinct Christmases and some distinct, well, not even really gifts, just the day of everyone being around. And it was always the most memorable days, the ones where there was heaps of family around compared to, when it's just your immediate family. But yeah, I don't even know what can kids do. Usually you get like a push bike or a skateboard for Christmas.
I think everybody does get that kid's bike with I think it would be just ribbons on the handlebars because you can wrap it up in, gift wrap or anything like that because it'd be too big. But yeah, do you have like a childhood Christmas gift that you've just like ingrained in your memory was like the best Christmas gift you got?
There's nothing that like comes straight from my mind. Usually like just a bodyboard, something like that. Xbox, well, actually the most memorable one, probably not the best gift, but the most memorable Christmas was when I got an original Xbox. So being like, obviously it comes out a lot earlier in the US, like same as like most
stuff,
electronics or releases. And you're getting the Xbox magazines were really hot back then, PlayStation magazines, IGN and like what was it? GameStop or GameSpot, whatever it is. There was a few like online forum review type websites for those early consoles. And this was the first Xbox One coming out, right?
Yeah.
But you could also buy the magazines. So it always ride to the newsagent, get like the new Xbox magazine, see what game's coming out. This is before the console had even come out.
Right. So you're doing your research beforehand.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
In hindsight, got some horrible games with it. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. But I was begging my mum all year, want this Xbox. Please get this Xbox for me. Anyway, she gets it. And I was, just greedy little kid, not patient at all.
Yeah.
And I was begging her. And she allowed me to open it up for one day, like a week before Christmas to play.
Ooh.
And the rule was like, I can open it for one day, play it for one day, box it up, seal it up, probably gift wrap it myself as well. And then I could have it on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
I was just like, who does that? Who's like, you know what you're getting for Christmas.
Yeah.
You can have it, you can play with it for a day, then seal it up. Like that's like
it's like a classic like parents who love their
that's not good parenting.
They just loved you and wanted you to enjoy, or were you just like bugging them way too much to be able to play it?
I can't remember how much I was bugging them, but like that's like all respect to my mum. That's not like a good like patience learning skill to like instill in a child. And that's like when I was like whatever 14, 15. So I don't know. I must have been real naggy or done something really amazing at school. Yeah. To be afforded that option.
Far out.
But yeah, it's looking at it now. Maybe why I'm not such a patient person. Anyway, moving on. I played it for one day. At this point, I was living in a garage in a caravan in my backyard. It's a long story. There was a caravan in our backyard. I'd moved from the bedroom out to the caravan. Yeah. Had a little annex there and a tent.
Cute.
So like weird teen phase, had to be distant from the family.
You want to be independent.
Yeah. Had it set up, Xbox, gaming all day. I think it was Midtown. Is it called Midtown Madness or Midtown Races or something? Just a little animated car racing game. And I can't remember what other game there was. Maybe like just basic Halo or something.
I was going to say, would it be the OG Halo or something like that?
Played it for a day straight. At this time, this is like early consoles, right? This is when MP3s were popping as well.
Far out. And this is when you had to enter in like the cheat codes and stuff.
Yeah, Mozilla, Kazaa, all these MP3 peer-to-peer downloading software was around. Everyone was downloading music illegally and movies and stuff.
Good old LimeWire.
I loaded like probably like 3 albums onto the hard drive. They had like a hard drive you could add music onto. Just, put a little hard drive in somehow via USB, upload the songs, and those songs would be stored on there and you could listen to those songs in a game. So I was playing like this wacky car racing game with having Blink-182 self-titled on there on repeat in the background.
That's cool.
Spent a whole day loading it up, playing, awesome. Sealed it up. Christmas Day comes around.
Oh.
So excited. I'm like, yep, everything's preloaded. Christmas is done. Had lunch. Going back to the caravan, playing games. Yeah. All day.
Like Christmas come true.
Yeah, 100%. I knew exactly the controls, ready to go. No tutorials or anything. They'd been done the week before. Yeah. Turn it on. Red Ring of Death.
No.
Yeah, so anyone that's a gamer has any sort of experience with Xbox. I think the second one, the Xbox 360, had the same, not the same problem, but like it's known as the same fault, the red ring of death.
Yes, yeah.
With the little green icon just goes like orange or red if there's some sort of fault with the system. Red ring of death, Christmas morning.
Oh, what a absolute nightmare for a child. Oh my God.
Complete stitch up.
Yeah, 100%.
But it's also it's a huge lesson, right? Like it's like not karma, but like this might not have happened if you hadn't have played it. Like what would have happened if this was like Boxing Day and it happened? So I know. I feel like if I hadn't opened it that week early, that I wouldn't have had Red Ring of Death on Christmas Day. I feel like it was just a lesson from some sort of higher being.
Yep, Santa up there saw that you got your gift early and he was like,
Probably, right?
You're getting the Xbox version of Cole, which is the Red Ring of Death.
And what sucked was like, this is before you could, this is early internet.
Yeah.
Like MySpace was probably just popping. And it's hard to get these things fixed, right?
Yeah, you didn't have Reddit to, thousands of blog posts and be like, this is how you do it yourself.
Yep, tried heaps of, and a newish console. Like I think it came out the year prior in the US or Europe. So obviously you do everything you can to get the red ring green so you can play the damn thing. Couldn't do it, and then had to post it back to whatever Sydney repairer. Had to wait 2-3 weeks for it to come back.
Damn.
I feel like it happened a second time. But yeah, that's I guess the longest Christmas story I have for you in terms of a gift and a stitch up and a memorable story, and many lessons to be learnt there. Got it too early and paid for it. Yep. So I don't even know what I did the whole Christmas day. Probably just sat on Google trying to fix it. What a horrible Christmas.
I know. I'll probably just listen to like some angsty sort of, Well,
not Blink 182 on my Xbox.
No.
Actually, I can't remember if it turned on at all or what the Red Ring of Death fault actually entailed. But yeah, no game-o for Mio.
No.
Christmas Day-o.
That would have been upsetting.
Pretty devo. And then I think I went... After that console had finished, I went to PlayStation for a few more generations, but now we're back to Xbox.
We are now back to Xbox.
Xbox One hasn't let us down yet.
No. Well, I think the whole thing with Xbox was they just got rid of the red light in there, so it could never show a red ring of death anymore.
There's too many Google searches.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they just got rid of that color, so it just wouldn't turn on. It wouldn't turn on. But now you have a lot of... That's the amazing thing about the internet now. And now you have so much resources to be able to fix it yourself anyway. There's heaps of people that would have posted their experience and be like, this is what I did to fix it. Yeah, and you can try all those troubleshooting yourself before like the last resort is taking it back to the shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. This was, I remember Game FAQs. Game FAQs was a huge website back then.
Yeah.
It was like heaps of cheat codes and walkthroughs and stuff, but in really like light HTML formatting. Like it wasn't like a super spruced up website or anything.
No.
And this is before what I knew what FAQs were. And I always thought it was like game fucks. For some reason, I was like, you're like 11, you're 12, you're like, no one teaches it. It's early internet. You don't know what the fuck's going on.
No.
I was like, game FAQs, that's always cool. And then getting Tony Hawk cheats and stuff like that.
Yeah. I just remember my brothers because they got Xboxes later on, but we started off with the PS1 console, I'm pretty sure, or PS2.
Yeah.
And I just remember my brothers logging onto the bloody big old computer, waiting for the dial-up to turn on, logging onto a website and like physically printing out the cheat codes and then like folding them up and popping in the games boxes and stuff so they wouldn't have to print them off again. They could just go back and refer to them. I just always have this image of them doing it heaps to GTA. Like that was a huge one for it. Yeah.
Well, I think even the first I must have got a PS1 for Christmas one year, and then the following year I got it chipped.
Yeah.
And then...
Oh, I forgot about the whole chip thing. Like, that was such under high demand, so you could just play whatever game you wanted to.
Yeah. Because my mum used to do, I think I mentioned it a few times, my mum used to do painting classes at home, folk art classes, and used to have like 8 to 10 women come around for the night and just, they'll all like learn different painting strokes and stuff. And then my dad and my brother and I would just sit there watching whatever, wrestling, Monday Night Wrestling, whatever else was on. And what was I going with the conversation? I completely forgot what I was talking about.
Well, you're talking about you got a PlayStation.
Oh, yeah. And then one of them, one of the ladies that used to come like quite frequently, one of her sons had like a hookup with the main guy that was doing the chipping and all the
right
game
in the
copying.
area. Yeah.
And she would come with a printout of like the games available, right?
Ooh.
So this is like not even like a USB, like a list of files
Like,
of like all
literally
the hundreds
printed
of
on paper.
Printed like 12 pages of like alphabetical every game they have available for copying that would work with their chip or any chip. But yeah, and then the guy came around one night. It's just super weird thinking about it. Just a guy comes around, is like,
Give me a PlayStation.
Unplug your PlayStation. He's like tinkering in there. Dad's just in there having a look. What's going on? Oh,
yeah. I see what you're doing. Yeah,
And then,
just
yeah,
like do
chips.
talk.
And then I feel like it definitely decreased the lifespan of that device. Like it didn't
would've.
last that much longer.
Nah, because it's something that's not meant to be in there. But like, what a little side hustle of just,
It's a super illegal side hustle.
100% it is. Like just, making your... It's like the whole satellite thing, just trying to get content that
Well, we
you're
had
not
that
meant to.
going as well. I'm pretty sure the same lady would hooked up the same. We had OzStar and we had like a physical chip to go into the OzStar dish, and you get every channel. You get all the pay-per-views, all the porno channels. This was
Your parents had the hookups.
I used to watch a lot of OzStar growing up. Like I didn't do heaps. Like watched so much random stuff, and I wish I remembered half of it. A lot of it was Channel V. A lot of Fox. Was it Fox One or what was the channel called?
That would have been like Fox Sports or something, right?
Yeah, but they had like a bunch of just like reruns of like that 70s show and all sitcoms and stuff like that.
20th Century Fox or something it would have been. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't until we came up to Sydney was like our first intro to, I think we had, Foxtel, and it was, the Disney Channel, Nickelodeon. I was like, what is all these channels? Mine was blown.
I wish I was more into like documentaries and National Geographic and stuff back
As a
then.
kid? No.
Just like my parents never really guided me into any of that. It was just like just have free reign on the control, and obviously it's going to go to like when you're 8 to 12, you're not really going to watch crazy movies. You're going to watch cartoons and then like some cool music of like some hot chicks or some cool looking guys. Like you're not going to be seeking out knowledge. So
no, they were pretty. I think it just must have been pretty lax, like just in the 90s in general, because our parents never really like. When we watched TV, they weren't really checking up on us and stuff. It was like Simpsons, Seinfeld, The Nanny, like all that kind of thing. And then it wasn't until we go to, Blockbuster or Video Easy to check out the movies that we're getting just to make sure it wasn't like a big rating.
Yeah, it's exactly the same. Like even we watched heaps of Simpsons. And I don't think The Simpsons, for the time and for where culture and PC culture and stuff was at, I don't think Simpsons was that like aggressive or raw. Like I feel like it was like super suitable for like the generation, and I don't think it like skewed our behavior or the way we looked at the world or anything like that too much. It was just always hilarious, but it was always something that just like put it on for us while they're making dinner. It's like basically kids just have iPads these days.
100%. They're just watching those type of things. But I remember studying, I was so lucky. It was in high school. We were studying in English, like satire, and we got to study The Simpsons because they're such a satirical reflection of modern day society and what sort of goes around. And it's not until you rewatch as an adult that you realize a lot of those jokes and stuff are designed for adults and everything. It was pretty interesting, like studying it in school, but also having that leg up compared to some other kids that didn't watch The Simpsons, because like you just had this whole backlog of like quotes you could refer to or storylines that could, really, it'd be something little like, not little, but, they would talk about Michael Jackson or common celebrities or big things that are going on, whether it's, politics, elections, that kind of thing. And they would always have some sort of satirical aspect to it all.
Gotta say, I haven't watched an episode of Simpsons in probably over
be like 15 years or something, right?
More than 10.
Yeah.
Closer to 13.
Yeah, I haven't watched any modern day Simpsons. Apparently it's more about Homer now and like his storyline, where when we were growing up was very much about Bart and Lisa, and the parents were much a side thing, but I think it's all about Homer and his antics.
Speaking of having control over like what we watched and stuff, I remember my mum saying to me at one point, this is when we're all in our sort of early mid-20s, when, everything's a bit rough going, maybe like having a bit of hindsight of ways they could have parented better. She's like, the worst thing we ever did was put TVs in all your rooms. Like we used to just have like a little, the size of this laptop, like a little
box.
Not even 32, like probably like 20-inch little cube up in the wardrobe. And just, even at the time that Simpsons were out, up to like South Park
Mm-hmm.
a few years later, there was some like pretty crazy, not crazy, but like pretty raw stuff up on TV late at night on SBS and stuff like that. Like South Park was one of the ones where it was like, okay, maybe that should have been a bit more
Watched over.
monitored and like checked on, but it was on free-to-air TV and it was on at 10 o'clock at night. Most parents are, you know, tired from working their day job. They don't have time to check on kids to do that. So like, yeah, like TV not the best decision
Yeah.
because some South Park stuff was pretty crazy. A lot of it you might not even understand at that age, which was probably a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think TV
In every room?
Yeah.
Yeah, you just like jogged a memory. No, it definitely, because as you hit, it was almost, I think we had to be like teenagers to be able to have like a TV in our room, but it was like, yeah, the small box TVs, or it was just the old TVs as like our parents upgraded with their new ones.
Yeah, exactly.
But again, like when the lights are out and we're told to go to bed, they're sleeping, they don't know that we're watching TV at 11 at night, and then they, you know, try to get up the next day and like, why are you so tired? And I'm like, oh, teenagers. No, it's just like, we're not sleeping, just watching TV the whole time.
And then even if you had a computer in your bedroom, oh god damn! I didn't, but that's a whole other level. I think I got a laptop maybe in like late high school, but if you had every kid has a laptop in their bedroom, even their phone now, like that's even a whole other thing. Like having access to all that just in your bedroom, like as if you like, that's why half the kids are depressed and not getting out of their beds. Like the world is either too scary to like go and confront. Everything online looks so perfect, and obviously everything in real life isn't so great a lot of the time, but like you see a whole different world in just the time that we were teenagers to now.
100%.
Anyway, we're getting way off Christmas. What was your most memorable Christmas gift?
Oh, this is going to be a hard one. I was very, very lucky growing up. Parents went in and out of having money and not having money. So I remember one gift which was absolutely amazing. It was like a DIY like craft box kit. So it had like textures, drawing books, pens, paints, like a whole bunch of arts and crafts stuff, which I absolutely loved. And like I got one, and then my brothers also got like a version as well. And we just spent like Christmas Day, and it was like one of those blank brown boxes you'd get from Lincraft. And we just spent the whole day like decorating the outside of the box and then being able to use those crafts and stuff later on, which was super fun. Then another time I think was probably one of my favorite ones. I got a bunch of like Barbies, which was absolutely amazing. I think that must have been one of the
bunch of Barbies.
Yeah, it must have been one of the Christmas times that my parents had a little bit extra.
A good sale,
yeah, a little bit extra money. But they were like mermaid Barbies, which I absolutely loved. And then you know the Barbies, the fairy ones where you'd pull the string and they would like fly away. But they had like but they'd have like a Action Man version. They'd have like boy toy versions as well.
Sure.
But yeah, it would be like the wings kind of thing, and they'd fly away. And I used to just like, you know, get them to dance and fly everywhere, which was a lot of fun. But we spent a lot of our Christmases, like all our family sort of like took in turns. So pretty much every Christmas would be spent at a different family member's house. And I remember like the worst Christmas was when we went to a family's property. They were just living along a lake, and then we went swimming in the lake, right? And I felt like a bite. And it was a bloody leech. So one of my Christmases like was traumatized because I got bitten by a leech and like just chilling in the lake.
That's cool. You do know leeches don't bite though, right?
Is it like a pincer type thing? Like how do they like suck? So it's just like a really tough suck, and it just feels like they're tough suck, and they
tough suck,
and it feels like they're just biting you.
Hang on, I'm getting my nipples a little bit hard after that. No, they latch onto your skin, and then I guess they suck blood through like the skin membrane layer.
Yeah.
But you can get them off with using salt. So when I was at uni, we did a biology experiment where we had to hike up a mountain and assess the fern density, or the density of different fern species in different quadrants up the mountain.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Anyway, we got covered in leeches on the way up, and one of the guys that was in our like research group was a very avid hiker and commoner of this particular hike, and had brought salt because he was prepared and knew that leeches will get on you. They won't bite you, they will suck.
Yeah.
And a good way to get them off is to pour salt on them.
Yeah. Well,
you just had a big white thing of that Saxa salt from the 90s. You know, that brand Saxa salt?
Yeah, yeah.
Classic. That's a classic Christmas.
It is a tabletop
table spread. What's one of your favorite Christmas tabletop spreads? It can be a condiment, It can be a spice like this.
No, I already know. The bonbons. Bonbons is always the best part.
So that's all we have. You don't have any Christmas decorations or food prepared, but you will just accept bonbons with a salad.
100%. I think it's just because we've got like a little family tradition with it. So like we have obviously you have a different person that like grabs it and the person that has the whole thing wins the prize, but you have to put on the hat and you have to read the little crappy joke that's on the inside because the jokes are always so bad.
Where did bonbons... That has to have some stupid origin story.
Yeah, it would. Bonbon, it sounds French, so I'm going to say it's some sort of French.
A bonbon.
Bonbon? A bonbon. I'm going to say it's some sort of French
bonbon? Thing. Is there a correlation with Ricky Martin?
Maybe. I'm pretty sure bonbons have been around longer than that.
Okay. But what's with the crown? There's got to be a significance of some sort of kingdom and crownship.
I'm gonna probably put like Christianity into it.
Yep.
But yeah, you know, Jesus the King, you know, puts the hat on, and I guess a gift could be like the three wise men with the gifts, possibly.
And isn't there a joke inside them?
There is, yeah.
Is it always a joke, or is it a quote, or is it like more of like a fortune cookie?
It's usually a really bad like a joke or pun. So it'd be like, what's brown and sticky? Brown stick.
I feel like I should Google this right now. My phone's like tempting me. Can you hold the conversation while I do a quick Google?
Yeah, of course.
So what's your favorite part about a bonbon? Is it the pulling? Because I never get the long bit. It's like
it's almost like a firecracker sort of sound. But yeah, because I think it's just the cracking of it and just seeing who will win and then just figuring out or just like how bad the joke will be as well. And then every now and then you get like a useful little gift that comes inside that's wrapped up in the joke and the crown. Sometimes it's like a little notepad, but there's always like nail clippers in them or a little comb or a magnifying glass. But if there was a yo-yo, you always had to give the yo-yo to my older brother because he was like a big yo-yo fan. But I think that was probably because he grew up in the 90s and was just like, had to have a yo-yo.
I just don't get why they have like little... like random novelty things from a dollar store, like little plastic glasses or like it's just silly stuff. Like none of it makes sense. I feel like I just had a genius business plan. Why not make a company that makes custom bonbons made to order for you and your family? So like they're bonbons with a meaning and with a purpose.
100% that idea already exists for sure.
Fuck.
Yeah, no, it would
Always
be.
late to the party.
It's probably because you're not used to being around bonbons and stuff. I'm assuming that's not like one of your family tradition staples.
No.
Not at all.
No.
But yeah, bonbons was very much always have to have the bonbons at our house.
All right, keep talking so I can research more.
Keep going through.
Yeah.
But yeah, you do get a range. Like obviously the more that you spend on the bonbons, the chances are you get the better gifts. So if you just go to like Kmart or the reject shop and just grab some cheap bonbons, they're obviously going to be the really small sort of plasticky ones. But if you get like the boutique ones from Maya or David Jones, you could find some really cool handy gifts that you could use potentially.
Fair enough. All right, I've done some very preliminary website research.
Yes.
And it's just off one website. Invented in mid-1800s by a London sweet maker named Tom Smith.
Oh,
he had
London.
seen the French bonbon sweets, which are almonds wrapped in pretty paper. On a visit to Paris, he came out to London and tried selling sweets. And eventually they just figured out to put it in a little thing for Christmas.
Cute.
And the crown is potentially inspired by like a type of cake.
Right.
Somehow. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like this 2-second research is not enough.
But I got the French part right. Like it got inspired by some
What's
French.
a cracker? Are there crackers in them? It says something about crackers.
No, because it cracks the noise, like it makes a cracking noise, like when you pull them apart. So I'm assuming they probably would have been made out of different material, but now they have like
Hang on. I got Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Yeah. But now they have, it must be like a, you know, the sparklers sort of things. So it's got like, it makes like a little like cracking.
Yeah, what are sparklers for?
Just celebration. Waving it around. It's because
If you
like
wanted
if
to
you
be in
can't
the
have
Olympics, be in the Olympics.
it looks like fireworks. That's why. So it's like an accessible firework.
Portable handheld fireworks.
Yeah, and remember, don't hold it too close to your face because the sparks will come off onto your face. Or were you like one of those kids? Because I know I did it. You grab a whole box and light it on fire.
Yeah, you grab like 10 of them.
Yeah.
Or I feel like we used to do something very sneaky with them. Like, I feel like we used to like grind all the outside off the metal and just like make a huge dump of them and light it on fire.
Yeah, because that's because it was not gunpowder, but that's how you'd make fireworks. You'd scrape it off and put it in there.
Fair enough.
Yeah. all the things that we used to do before we had iPads, phones, internet was, let's see if we can make things catch on fire. Or like just try to get away with all the bad stuff. But yeah, especially on Christmas time when you're around all your other cousins, especially if they're a similar age, you get up to 100% no good. It's like, who's going to try and steal the alcohol? Who's going to try and, take a sneak peek at the presents?
Yeah, bonbons are pretty dope. I like them.
Yeah?
I'm just based on the history, and I'm not a big fan of all the plastic junk inside them. But if there's
you could probably find a cool eco one.
There'd be some cool ones out there, right?
100%. Well, I think because we don't really, us personally together, we haven't really had done a Christmas together.
We've pressure on now.
No, I know we've done dinners and stuff together, but we haven't really had a whole shebang. So I think, we could whole shebang. But yeah, we could, maybe I'll move over our family tradition to our family tradition. We can do bonbons together.
I feel like it would be pretty easy to make them. What would you put, if you had to gift me a bonbon, what would it be? What would be inside it?
Oof. I don't know. Yours would have to be either food related, I think, because you love candy.
What are you gonna put in there? Okay, what are you gonna put in there?
I don't know, some chocolate, because you like chocolate.
Some chocolate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
great. Looking forward to some of the chocolate.
Or a little calculator that you can put on your keychain.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know. It's you have to think of something tiny that will fit in the bonbon.
Well, a calculated keychain ain't going in there. Maybe a $20 bill.
Yeah, just put cash in there instead.
Just cash, rips during the snapping, cracking process.
Not the Aussie ones. They're made out of plastic, so they wouldn't snap.
No. Yeah. So, yeah, we have a few things to do. We have to create bonbons. We have to rewatch some Simpsons episodes.
I think so.
To see how far along that timeline we are.
Yeah.
We got pushed off track of being considerate, loving human beings.
Yeah. Well, it's a bit too late.
Cartoons ruin your life.
It depends on the cartoon. You do have some cool adult ones that will, give you a good story, like the Studio Gilby ones. They always make you cry.
There's so many of the Netflix adult ones now. Family Guy and stuff set the bar 10, 15 years ago. Now there's F is for Family and about 8 other ones on Netflix that I don't know the names of. But
well, you got Archer, pretty much all those Adult Swim. Yeah, all those Adult Swim cartoons. So,
but they're a bit more niche and a bit more out there. They're not for primetime viewing, you know what I mean?
No, very alternative cartoons.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel there's heaps more on Netflix now, where it's more it's basically like sitcom in a cartoon format. All right, so we have plenty of homework to do on this beautiful Christmas week. We'll wrap it up there for episode 31, done and dusted. Hope you all have a lovely Christmas period with your loved ones if you get to see them. Everything is obviously a bit up in the air at the moment, so we're praying that everything runs smoothly this week and everything goes according to plans and we can see the other side of this thing sooner rather than later. Any parting words, Sarah?
No, I just hope that everybody does enjoy these last this week and a half left of the year. I mean, COVID has definitely made it fly by dramatically, but hey, it's a new year coming up and it only can get better from here.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode and sticking around with us so far this year. We'll do one more episode next week doing, I think, a bit of a wrap-up for 2021. As I said, wrap-up. I lose all speaking ability 30 minutes in.
But yeah, we'll do a wrap-up of the year, just our thoughts, how we went, goals maybe for next year as well. But yeah, that will be on for next week. But yeah, everybody, thank you so much for listening as always and following us along this year. Don't forget to follow us along on iTunes. I keep saying iTunes, so Apple Podcasts, on Spotify as well. Especially leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Don't forget to follow us along on Look Mum Hustling YouTube channel if you want to see the video format and check out Archie, who is chilling with us today as well.
Nailed it. Perfect outro.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
See you next week, guys.
Bye.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.